Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. It's time for our RE lesson. Okay, now coming up, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, is the Christian festival of Pentecost. Okay, so Pentecost means 50 days after Easter. It's actually 7 weeks to the day. So as we all know, 7 times 7 is 49, but still the festival happens normally 50 days after. The Sunday is also called in England, it's called White Sunday, and it marks the Whit holidays, as the half term used to be called all across Britain. So just to give you the story now, this is the 12 disciples, and they were really scared. They were scared of the Romans. They were scared that they were going to get killed. They were scared that the people in their own communities would dob them in. They were frightened for their lives. Jesus had told them to go out and spread the word to all people, to go out throughout the world, telling them the good news of Jesus Christ. But they were too scared, and they were all still in the same room, in the same place, huddled up together in Jerusalem. And then something happened. 50 days. And here's the story. This is from a book in the Bible called Acts, and this is the Holy Spirit comes at Pentecost. When the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. Suddenly, a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came and filled the whole house where they were sitting. They saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit, and they began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them. So they were all filled with this confidence, and they were all filled with the ability to speak in any language across the world. Now they were staying in Jerusalem, God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven for the harvest festival. When they heard this sound, a crowd came together in bewilderment, because each one had heard their own language being spoken. Utterly amazed, they said, "Aren't these who are speaking Galileans? Then how is it that each of us hears them in our native language? Parthians, Medes and Elamites, residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt and the parts of Libya near Cyrene, visitors from Rome, both Jews and converts to Judaism, Cretans from Crete and Arabs, we hear them declaring the wonder of God in our own tongues." Amazed and perplexed, they asked one another, "What does this mean?" Some of them made fun, and they said, "Ha, they've had too much wine." Then St. Peter, who was one of Jesus' friends, stood up with the 11 others, raised his voice and addressed the crowd. "Fellow Jews, and all of you who live in Jerusalem, let me explain this to you. Listen carefully to what I say. These people are not drunk, as you suppose. It's only 9 in the morning. No, this isn't spirits. This is the Holy Spirit." So just to put in perspective what that means and what that means to Christians today. Christians see this story as being given the courage and the strength to do what's right. And whether you're Christian or not, I'm sure that sometimes you get that inner voice that tells you the right thing to do. That inner voice in your head saying, "Now, give me the courage, give me the strength to get this thing done." And that inner voice that we have as humans, the one that we need to listen to, the one that tells us right and wrong. Sometimes we need the courage to believe in that voice and to go with that voice. Some might say that that's your human brain working over your impulsive chimp and lizard brains, that ability to have the courage to do what's right. So what I'd like you to do today or of course tomorrow if you're outside enjoying the sun, as I'm sure a lot of you are, is a little poster that says, "I hope for the courage to." I'm drawing a picture of myself. It's not very good, I'm sure you could do much better of you. And these are the tongues of fire, that feeling in my head when I know that I've got the courage to do something right. Maybe I hope for the courage to be a good friend. Maybe I hope for the courage to start doing YouTube videos when I'd never done them before a few weeks ago. Maybe I hope for the courage to say something nice. Maybe I hope for the courage to stand up to somebody if they're being nasty to somebody else. So whatever you hope for the courage to do, especially at this tricky time, if you can do a poster like this and just a sentence underneath to say what you hope for the courage to do. Okay, have a wonderful time. Hope you're using lots of sun cream. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I can't wait to see you all soon.